Oh, hi. How are you doing? Been a long time since I made a video. Probably the last thing you want to hear is about the coronavirus or whatever it's called. Only I think three nations are particularly affected by it, and that's China, Italy, and I think Iran. Iran's the other one. Now, I saw a vision about 5 or 6 years ago of a chemical attack on Iran. You know, you can check my videos, check the history. Recently, I've been reading about certain agents in Africa that are given this certain virus, and they're given money in order to spread that virus. But because of prayer, I think it's a lot of African nations are far more prayerful than the Western nations. So I think that even though there has been some agents spreading the virus in different nations like Nigeria, all around Africa, and by the way, the flu, it can only really exist in cold temperatures, and the fact that people get it when they're exposed to the cold, flu and colds, but there are such a thing as African flus and that type of thing, and these are viruses, but they're not as common as malaria, as we know, and all that stuff. But even these common viruses have a higher death rate than this coronavirus. It's a higher death rate. So it's not serious in any of the African nations. It's not to the point that countries are going to martial law and all that stuff. Now, the two main countries that it's affected, China and Italy. We switch on our TV, whether we're in Europe or America, we're hearing politicians come down with the coronavirus and all that. I don't believe that most of them have it. But if you check out what's happened in Italy, and the fact that the Vatican seems to say that there's a lot of priests suffering from it, and the fact that they're actually staying away from the masses now. In some churches, apparently, according to some reports, there's no priest on duty because they're having this coronavirus or some other Toyota-based vehicle. And, they're staying away from, the mass, and they're telling people just to repent to God. I heard that in a report. One of the people I know here had a vision about the destruction of the Catholic Church, and she reckons that this is the start of it. So it could well be. Now, the other causes of this virus, I don't think that it's been spread in a malicious means in all countries at all. I've just heard some reports that there's been agents given the virus in test tubes and told to go and spread it in certain areas. Now, in this country that I'm in just now, last week they sprayed the markets. Sorry about this, guy. He started preaching just when I started making the video. So they sprayed the markets last week, which is unnecessary because the visitors into Ghana are mostly foreigners, let's say Chinese, let's say they're from Italy, different countries. But these people, apparently they are being kept back for a certain number of days and tested. Not like as we saw in Rebel Media, Canada are just walking straight in, no face mask, just walking in and handed pamphlets. Canada are not serious about it. I mean, this is not an epidemic in most countries. The media has blown it out of all proportions. But what I would say about the virus is that in China, in Italy, the Chinese company Huawei, they make the mobile phones. Apparently, they're the company that make the 5G towers in China, mostly in the areas in China that's been affected. And also in Italy, they're using Huawei technology in their 5G towers. Now, the 5G, if you've read about that, it is a weaponized technology, it is a military weapon, and it's able to do all kind of things. And one of the things it can do, due to the exposure of radiation, the high doses of radiation, hundreds of times what 4G is, it does weaken the immune system. And it goes without saying, if you're having something in the air, airborne technology that's affecting you, any other viruses are going to affect you more than normal. And I believe that's what's happened in China and Italy. And as I said, as far as Iran goes, I did see a dream 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know if this is the fulfillment of it, but I saw that that country was actually sprayed from the sky by a certain virus. And I don't know if this is it. It could well be, because they're having several thousand cases of it. So what's up with that? So it's a different story in every nation that you're from. I think New Zealand are having a 1 month lockdown, and I don't know how many cases they got. If it's into the thousands, I don't think it is. I heard that Holland are just over 100 cases, as in this country just over 100, and probably these figures are out of proportion as well. You know, they're buffeted up by the media. So what way to make of it? I don't see it lasting very long. Some countries will go on lockdown, some cities will go on lockdown longer than others, but I don't see it as a long-term problem. This virus, I don't see it as a long-term problem. I see it as a type of an experiment. I think, as one of these scientists spoke about. I think you know, he was asked about what they think of the coronavirus, and he's saying, well, it's like a massive experiment, and everybody's part of it. You know, so I think it's something that they're just looking at how people react to this, and yeah, I mean, some countries like Romania are under martial law. There is military on the streets. In some cities in America, I'm told that there is military on the streets as well, but I'm not sure how many cities that is. But I know in Romania there's military on the streets, and possibly they're given orders. I'm not sure if they're told to shoot to kill or not, but they are there. There's a military presence in certain countries. So it is an exercise to see how people will obey the government, you know, obey their God. But you as a Christian, you should obey your God. And if your God is telling you to go, and we need provisions, by the way, you need to get some provisions, and it's not going to be the luxuries maybe you had before, but I would just buy items that can boost your immune system, especially if you live in a country that's got 5G. You would have to really go out and buy food such as ginger and garlic. Green tea is also good. You know, there's alkaline-based foods. If you study Dr. Sebi, you know, who's able to cure AIDS and cancer and every disease, even diabetes. Alkaline-based foods are good. You know, watch your sugar intake. What I tend to do here is when I'm buying in bulk, you know, I buy these little things, these little bottles, or I buy this one, and I get water. This is particularly good to mix in with other drinks. It's got a really high content, like it's is it orange, tangerine, and lemon. Really, there's no sugar in it at all. You can mix this. What's the price of it? It's 2 cedi in this country, which is about 30 pence. It's less. It's about 25 pence. If you buy it in bulk, it's about 20 pence or something like that. Cents, that would be about 35 cents. And then there's lots of different cores you can buy, but Bell stuff is particularly good. This is a lot better than Coca-Cola. I believe a lot less sugar. What I tend to do with this though is make about half and fill the rest of it with mineral water, you know, and that's me for a day. I try to take no more than one a day. I'm doing some work here, but you know, obviously I'm doing my art, I'm doing whatever. So I don't need that much. You know, I'm not expending a lot of energy every day, but you just have what your body really needs. You know, that's my philosophy anyway. And what else to say, man? What else to show you, really? I think this is cheaper than this one, by the way. You get this for about 1 CD in a supermarket, which is about 15 pence. This one's about 20-25 pence. So, and by the way, the best cola is Haribo cola, or Black Seed cola, which tastes about the same. You know, Haribo that make all the sweets and all that. Haribo cola is what probably Coca-Cola tasted like when it came out, before they started putting all the sugar in. And it really tastes great. It's really fantastic. It's very low sugar content, but you can really get the cola taste through it. I recommend that if you can get that. You probably can't get it in your country. Beginning to realise why all the jobs have been given over to a lot of third world countries, you know, because they can produce the things a lot cheaper than we can in the West. And obviously, you know, they can buy it, you know, for a reasonable price and sell it for, but the profits they still make in the UK, through like automobile industry, through every industry in the UK, the world makes a fortune out of the UK because of the financial situation there. But there are a lot of poor people there, by the way, as well, in the UK. I'm not a rich person, by the way, but what I do have, I have tried to use it to serve the Lord, and I've taken care of my own. I've always done that, to extreme points. Even though I'll be criticised and lies will be spoken about me, but I guarantee I've ticked these boxes. But thanks for your prayers for me here. We are still praying to go and see my son again, or actually the family requested that we sit down and talk with them, so we got some elders to do that, and then they cancelled it. And they didn't say it was because of this coronavirus, but then they phoned the other night and said, well, this virus is really bad and all that. So anyhow, that's the reason that they've cancelled the meeting about my son. My son's just there. No one's at school. All the schools are cancelled here for about the past 2 weeks. Nobody's going to work for about the past 2 or 3 weeks. You can go out and buy food and sort of provisions. There's the little shops open. But generally a lot of places are closed here. That's the situation. So appreciate your prayers. I'm also praying for you. Any prayer requests, let me know. Thank you.